Tiffany from Wisconsin. You're up for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Bacino, is it correct that OSM recently finished the rewrite of the 10-day notice rule?
Yes, that's correct.
What was wrong with the version that was done in 2020?
So we engaged in that rulemaking after a review that was requested of us in a executive order from the president. And as a result of that review.
So the president directed you to rewrite that rule, is that accurate?
Sorry, if not specifically. What the president directed was that the agencies look at a variety of regulations that had previously been issued. We did our job to do that, and there were ways that we felt would be more consistent with SMACRA by making some changes.
So when the president tells you to look at something, it's probably not a maybe, is that right? It's a directive.
It was an executive order
Mr.
to
Chairman,
review
Chairman,
the regulations.
Mr. Chairman, I would just say when the president says you need to look at something, they're probably saying, do it. So the president was behind the rewrite of the 10-day notice rule that was just rewritten in 2020. Doesn't SMACRA give primacy to the states, Ms. Bacino?
So SMACRA does set up a process for which states can obtain primacy.
Did the states ask for this change to the 10-day notice rule?
So as I mentioned, the review that occurred was the result of an executive order, which has been done by other presidents that come into office as well.
In the 10-day notice rule that's written now under your version, isn't it correct citizen complaints have been elevated above consultation with local and state governments?
No, Congressman, that's not the case in terms of elevated above, but SMACRA does explicitly provide for a process by which citizens have the right to come to OSMRE with a possible violation. States then are the ones who are directed and left to address that potential violation and respond to it.
But you included that in this recent 10-day notice rule in regards to citizen complaints, correct?
We were acting consistent with SMACRA.
But you elevated it to an even higher authority, isn't that correct?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question.
Yeah, I'll move on to another question here. Did you consult and coordinate with the states before writing this 10-day notice rule?
Yes, we received numerous comments from the states as part of the rulemaking process.
Not comments. You are required to coordinate with states and local governments. The establishment of rank equal, not subordinate. Did you sit down at the table with them and say, we are looking at, the president has directed us to rewrite the 10-day notice rule. Will you help us do that? Did you have that discussion with those states like Wyoming?
What I can tell you, Congressman, is that the process we followed is the one that's laid out in the Administrative Procedure Act to engage in rulemaking, and that's what we did, which included reviewing numerous comments by states as well as other stakeholders.
Yeah, this is not coordination or consultation in any way, shape, or form, Mr. Chairman, and we've been hearing this for a couple weeks now from the administration officials that have been coming forward. Yeah, we heard comments and things like that. That's not how it works. It is when these environmental laws, the fundamental environmental laws that were put in place back in the early 1970s, when they were put in place, lawmakers here made it very clear, you must sit down and treat these local and state units of government as equals so that they would have a say. Legislators, congressional members of the time, they knew the federal government could be overarching, and that is exactly what we're hearing today. They decided to do this because states have told us, Ms. Bacino, that they were not given a voice at the table. They have told us that. Why is the industry, you said the industry is in decline. Why is it in decline?
You're asking me why the coal industry is in decline?
That's right, yep.
I I think there are a variety of reasons, and I guess if I had to pick one, I'd say they're market forces that are that have resulted, and I'm pleased to have come to OSMRE because of the job that it's doing in coal communities to help them move forward.
Those are not market forces, Mr. Chairman, when the federal government tries to put you out of business. And when the president himself is behind this effort, as with the 10-day notice rule, people can fully understand why we see a country in decline. I yield back.
Thank you very much. Now we'll go to Mr. Rosendale from Montana.